Hi, this is Dana. On this channel I speak about spiritual warfare, and I have another channel on which I speak about astrology and my Facebook page with prophetic writings you find in the description box below. Any other social media accounts are not mine, are created by individuals who are copying me, actually who are denigrating me and slandering my name, and a lot of other activities, illegal otherwise. So in this video, basically, you guys, you know already that I hold very dear the Lionsgate portal, and as a celebration time of the Ascendant Masters, the Blue Lodge Sirius and the Lion Race, because they act together. They are the holders of the Blue Ray. So in fact, not only me, but everybody who's a Blue Ray should sort of have a special connection to the Blue Lodge Sirius, right? Because this is what the Ascendant Masters are also. They are the holders of the Blue Ray. The Blue Ray, of course, for those who do not know, are the way showers. So are those who actually are showing the way for everybody else through ascension process. So you will find them usually as whistleblowers, people who speak the truth. Some of them are in the legal system, but some of them are just working very close with the Ascendant Masters and with Archangel Michael, basically carrying the sword of light, the sword of truth, of divine truth, and fighting for the divine truth. So this is maybe for those who, although they actually are supposed to relate and to sort of develop a personal relation with the Blue Lodge Sirius and with the Ascendant Masters, maybe some of them by now don't yet know all of this. This is why I'm mentioning these details together. And in this video, God has guided me because I celebrate especially this time, of course, as any Blue Ray. God asked me to pass a message on this specific timing. And to be very honest, it was actually Jesus who initially gave me the message to deliver. And then God gave me the blessing to deliver the message. This is related to something that I mentioned in another video before. Basically, the fact that ascension literally means dismantling of 3D. And I mean, the completion of the ascension, of course. But it's a process. Both are processes, right? But they're just processes which go in totally different directions, sort of. I explained in another video, that means that you do the spiritual fighting, claiming justice, judgment, and punishment, which will happen first in the divine realm. There is literally a court of law which comes together, and many structures from the divine realm which come together in order to judge every situation. This is extremely important. I am hoping at least those who have read my writings or listened to my videos, I am hoping that you got used already with this idea of claiming justice, judgment, and punishment, and you already understood the purpose of it. There will be no ascension without claiming justice, judgment, and punishment. This is mandatory. And you have to overcome whatever mental programming they created in you to block you from doing so. So again, when you claim justice, judgment, and punishment, the first phase develops in the divine realm, where different structures come together and they judge each situation, each individual, and so on. The karmic board is involved as well, the Akashic records are involved as well, and many other structures. Then the second phase, the second step is to trickle down in 3D this basically. And in order to do that, it is you who must take the step, namely to prosecute the individuals who have harmed you, gather information, gather evidence, and so on, and you must pursue this. As I said in a previous video, I haven't been involved in such pursuits before, because through my career I was mostly abroad, outside of Romania, so I didn't really have time here to develop this. But I am very determined that absolutely everything that I have done throughout my spiritual fighting will develop in formal prosecution in the justice system in 3D. And there are a number of reasons for this. As I explained, and as everybody should know by now, 3D exists because of illegal bondages, fake storylines created, stolen rights, stolen identities, and so on, right? A lot of injustice, everybody is paying the price for this. You must understand. Each country has individual astral space. Whatever injustice happens in that astral space triggers a karma for that country. There is a karma for a nation. There's a karma for a country. There's a karma for any type of association, group association. Even for international organizations, NATO, UN, and EU, and others, there's karma associated to each and every single injustice that has ever been done. And as an individual, you pay the karma for yourself, for your soul lineage, for your blood lineage, for whatever responsibilities you had in your job, yeah, whatever responsibilities you had, and whatever justices were done under your watch, and you were responsible for making sure that no injustice will be done. This is, I mean, if you did have responsibility in this regard, you will carry the karma. And this goes every step, like per institution. An institution has a karma. A country has a karma, a region, a nation, a family, and so on. These are layers of responsibility, and you pay karma for each and every one of these layers, depending on how much responsibility and decision-making power you had. Could you stop? Could you have stopped something and you just stood and watch? Could you have stopped an injustice, but you preferred to take advantage of it? Were you requested to give a testimony and you lied about somebody just so it won't be repercussions for you, or to get advantages, even worse? Many situations, I'm not going to enter into those at all. The fact of the matter is that the justice system and the law enforcement system are critical in Ascension. Why? Because you will not receive justice if the justice system fails. It is that simple, you know. You will receive justice in the divine realm, but we are still in 3D and we still have some time to go. So we still need justice in 3D as well, especially if they stole a lot from you and so on. And particularly if they are hunting you, because if they started hunting you and you started fighting a war with them, they will never stop. So you do need justice in 3D so you can actually live, you know. law enforcement equally is important. Why? Because law enforcement, first of all, works with the justice system to gather evidence and so on. But even more important, they are the ones who should have enough strength to enforce protection for you before, during, and after the justice is being done. If you want to start building a life and you had a war going on with this kind of convents, and please believe me that pretty soon everyone will have a war going on with them, because the ascension is a process which goes on. And if I went through this earlier than others, it's just part of the fact that I am the Blu-ray, and therefore even my gifts and me being awakened way before others, and learning about certain things before others. But it doesn't mean that the others will not go through the same. It's quite the opposite. This is the purpose why I am sharing all the information, because everybody will go through it. I said this yesterday. If you're in 3D, be sure somebody created a bondage on you. Otherwise, you wouldn't have come. If you don't know who created and what bondage was created, then that's the problem. But otherwise, you can be sure that there is a bondage created on you. So it means that you will go through this spiritual fighting, like it or not, if you want to be with God. So yet again, if you want to have a proper justice system which helps you receive justice without being forced to go through a war, and you need a law enforcement system equally powerful that in such a way so will ensure protection for everybody, so you can actually pursue your justice and go on in the justice system to receive justice. So these two systems are extremely important. Now, they, as everybody else, are part of 3D. Therefore, bondages were created on them as well. Okay? They themselves, as institutions and as individuals, have to carry on their own spiritual fighting to break the bondages which were created on them. So they need strength. This is what I want to point out. In order to have strength, they need to make justice. Basically, this is their job on one hand. On the other hand, even if this is their job, each and every time when they do this, when they make justice to somebody, they receive divine grace and elevation. That gives very high protection from the divine realm. And this can be in very different forms. Very different forms. And if anybody from the justice or law enforcement systems listens to my video, I recommend that you become creative. And for example, you can look on my Facebook page. I wrote prophetic writings in June 2019 and December 2019 for the karmic board meetings with proposals of creating specific structures in astral realm, which will help with law enforcement, which will help with justice, with gathering evidence, with creating mechanisms to nullify their attacks, because there's so much attacks that basically this was one of my first observations when I started spiritual fighting. I told God, I said, you know, they have nothing else to do on the face of the planet just to create these stupid attacks at us. And since they work in groups, they come together in a group and they all attack you. Of course, they will overwhelm you at some point. And even if they don't succeed to harm you properly, still they annoy you enough and they drain you of energy and they keep you busy so you are not capable of doing anything else. So the point is, I said since then, and this is why I recommend you read those writings where I shared some of my thoughts God, somebody is really upset at this. One of my neighbors probably, who is stalking me. That's why. And with God, in the beginning of 2018, I had long discussions in planning the rescue and retreat center, which I was planning to create here as a spiritual center. And it was dedicated to rescuing individuals who were in spiritual fighting and so on. And I had many recommendations to make then. So the point being, for the two types of structure, that you can be creative in working with the divine realm. You can create proposals, so you can create structures to help you from divine realm in your task. And for the rest of us, our responsibility is to engage with the law enforcement and with the prosecution, with the justice system. Why? Because they will gain more power and more strength and more protection with each case solved. This will give them enough power at some point that they can protect you, so you won't be hunted, you won't be targeted, you won't be, so we can actually step faster into the creation phase in safety without having to be in isolation to protect yourself, or to defend yourself constantly, or to keep researching constantly to find out information, who slandered you, who did what, who sent what kind of attack, and so on. This is critical. This is critical. This is very important. As I said, Jesus asked me to convey a message, and God gave a blessing, and namely that at this Lion's Gate portal, basically the Ascendant Masters are coming together in the support of the law enforcement system and the justice system. So they will create with you together those structures and those mechanisms which are useful, first of all, to stop some of this madness which they create through their attacks with witchcraft, with so many others, and second of all, to help you gather evidence, so you can actually work through this, so you can build your strength and your protection. So the Ascended Masters will work with the law enforcement and the justice system in order to make sure that a certain number of illegalities and crimes which have been committed are prosecuted immediately. So justice will be done in 3D. This is critical because this will represent, God says, a shift, a very strong shift in the ascension process. And from my experience, I know this will basically be noted by anyone who has any kind of energy awareness as an energetic upgrade. Every time when the justice system will make justice to someone, everyone will be able to feel it in their energetic field. It will literally be an energetic upgrade, because essentially by them making justice, darkness associated with that injustice which was done is being transmuted. And that's a very strong healing for everybody. It's not just an elevation for the justice system or the individuals who work on that case. It's an elevation for it's a relief for everybody. And I truly hope that everyone will follow my example. I definitely intend to devote as much attention as possible. I am more than happy to look through my notes and start working again on the rescue center and the retreat resort, which basically was focused specifically on this. And I worked on it, I focused on it in the beginning of 2018, before they started the attacks, the surprise attack. So this is the message. This is great news. This is great news. Just imagine that there will be no more copycats. There will be no more doppelgangers. There will be no more fake weddings in your name. That's absolute. That will change the entire game, in my view. Anyhow, I hope everybody will do the same. I will devote my time specifically to this in this phase, because I already pursued and won justice, judgment and justice in divine realm. So I personally, I am in that phase, namely where you engage with law enforcement and justice system in 3D in order to prosecute those cases on which you succeeded to gather enough evidence. And of course, I will make sure to gather enough evidence for everything else which is lacking at this point in time, enough evidence. So I hope this is the message. I hope everybody is happy, not only those from justice system, because this, as I said, will bring benefits for every individual, even those who created the crimes. You know, because once that darkness is being transmuted, just understand this. Before you get to the, I'll give you an example. Before you get to the justice system in 3D, basically what happens, there are two camps, the ones who create darkness and the ones who stay in light and do spiritual fighting. And there's a lot of darkness created by the first group, which has been sent to the second group. And then there's a period of time of spiritual fighting where you keep pushing that darkness from one to another, from one group to another, you know. And to the extent possible, you transmute some of that. But it is my experience now already that not everything can be transmuted by energy only. Some of it must be transmuted through justice and judgment. And some of it, basically, I'll give you an example. In my case, today, these individuals have done, again, rituals, ritualic attacks at me, again, witchcraft, again, sorcery, again, it's never-ending story. They know they are under judgment. They know God is punishing them. And instead of stopping, they still send black magic to me, thinking that maybe my mind will go blind and I will somehow give them undeserved forgiveness. There are still individuals who have sent to me sex magic attacks, love bombing attacks, all sorts of, they binded themselves to me. They did telepathy, artificial telepathy at me, in the attempt to change my decision. What the fuck you want to change? I already made two formal complaints with the law enforcement. I'm gonna follow up with others. So they really don't stop. You see, so you really need to actually pursue further, because I will tell you something, one more thing before I close up. For example, God has shown to me some of these individuals will never stop. For them, because I asked God, you know, I said, okay, what exactly you want me to do at this point? Because they never stop. We won for so long. I closed cycles last year. I closed cycle last year in June. Then they threw two dead animals in my courtyard. They poisoned them and they threw them in my courtyard. They did rituals of death at me and my dogs through those two puppies. Voodoo and other stuff to stop me. Then in December, one more time, the same thing, I close everything. They keep doing the same thing again. And God has answered to me. And he said, some of them have gone so many lifetimes through making karmic decisions, selling their souls, basically going through the darkest ritualic things possible, that literally they cannot stop. And I said, okay, so what do you want me to do now? And God basically said they will clean up this, but only in prison. Only when they would be in prison. You know? And actually God said to me, you know, you will not be safe until they get to prison. And this will be where they will actually start doing the healing. Only in prison. So I'm only giving you this information. I know this for a long time. This is not something new. But I'm sharing this with you now, so you will understand that this is really serious. Because very soon, there will be an energy upgrade, which will lift a lot of darkness. Jesus has shown to me. This also comes from Ascendant Masters and from God. And basically, the conflict between light and dark, between the group with the light and the group with the darkness, will intensify. So I'm telling you, this is the way. Go make formal complaint with the law enforcement, follow up with the justice system in 3D in order to put an end, a true end in material existence to the current situation of conflict where they keep attacking, stealing, killing, and destroying, and so on. Yeah, this is the path. I'm going to stop here. I hope everybody will follow suit and will pursue this path, because this is the way we actually will get true justice in immediate time, you know. Otherwise, of course, the divine realm will make justice to you, but you need that to manifest into 3D existence. And there's many other things. This can also not manifest if you don't do anything. If you refuse to take the necessary steps in order to change the reality of today. Yeah? Okay. I'll see you in my next video. I hope this one will upload, because I made a video this morning, like 12 hours ago, and it hasn't uploaded even now. So it's been 12 hours since I'm waiting for that video to upload. I hope this one will upload faster, and you will get to see, I hope, both before tomorrow morning. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video then.